Ren was a pure spitter, capable of dominating the beat with a little extra mustard. Easy signed him to a solo deal, but soon realized his strengths as a ghostwriter. Ren penned the tracks Easy Does It, Radio, and Ruthless Villain, which eventually ended up on Eazy's 1988 solo album, Easy Does It. But the pace of Ruthless Villain proved too quick for Eazy's meager rapping skills. So Dre was like, "Man, just let Ren say the rap." Ren remembered. He was soon invited to join NWA. NWA's first ever show was at Skateland on March 11th, 1988. "My homeboy Eazy-E and the whole NWA posse is in effect," said MC Ren, giving shout-outs between Eazy's boys' verses. Many of the lyrics had been changed to remove curses. The group began playing shows on the road, piling into Eazy's navy blue Ford Aerostar minivan and sharing cheap motel rooms. At first, they opened up for Alonzo's revamped version of World Class Wrecking Crew, which was awkward for everyone considering their disparate styles and the fact that Dre and Yella had quit the group. But by 1988, had graduated to performing with acts like Salt and Pepper, MC Hammer, Heavy D, and UTFO. They got strange looks for their Jerry curl. "Who the fuck is y'all niggas?" they were asked. When Cube returned from Arizona later in 1988, for good, Ren stayed in the group. Hail Mary. Despite NWA's traction on the road, Jerry Heller was striking out with his industry contacts. By late 1987, the group still hadn't landed a record deal. Really, it wasn't too hard to figure out. Black performers like Michael Jackson and Prince may have ruled the pop charts. They were expected to look, talk, and act decent. Innuendo was okay, but NWA was too violent, too real. Rap had gone mainstream less than a decade earlier, and many labels still thought it was a fad. The board chairman of Capitol Records told Heller that NWA would never sell. David Geffen expressed concern over how NWA was talking about gays. Never mind that Geffen Records' white-hot metal band, Guns N' Roses, would soon employ gay and racial slurs themselves on their 1988 track, One in a Million. Eventually, Heller threw something of a Hail Mary pass, taking a meeting in August 1988 with Brian Turner and Mark Cerami of Priority Records. Though they had great distribution, Priority wasn't exactly a major industry force. Their biggest claim to fame was the California Raisins, claymation dried grapes dreamed up by the state's Raisin Marketing Commission. Singing Motown classics and other nostalgic hits, they were voiced by Buddy Miles, a former Jimi Hendrix collaborator. The act's shifting image was alternately as soul group, trendy b-boys, and quartet of straining turds. The Raisins eventually sold more than 3 million copies. It wasn't as much of a fluke as it sounds. Turner and Cerami were former executives at K-Tel Records, repackaging old hits into genre collections advertised on late-night television. Hooked on Swing, Funky Super Hits. Heller trusted Priority's ability to market music outside of radio, which was mostly a non-starter for NWA due to their cussing. And so soon he and the crew met the Priority Brain Trust in a cigarette-smoke-filled Hollywood conference room. Eazy, his pagers buzzing in his jean pockets, put his Air Jordans up onto the table, while Ren mean-mugged. Eventually, Dre arrived with a cassette and played Gangsta Gangsta, the group's latest track, and perhaps their tightest and most on-message yet. It kicks off with a drive-by shooting, and soon police sirens wail. Drinking straight out of the 8 bottle, raps Ice Cube over a mid-tempo beat and funk guitar riff appropriated from Steve Arrington. Do I look like a motherfucking role model to a kid looking up to me? Life ain't nothing but bitches and money. Turner, a Canadian, didn't immediately get it. I couldn't believe the things they talked about actually happened, he said later. But he became fully convinced after seeing the group perform at a Reseda roller rink. The crowd sung along in unison to Fuck the Police, a controversial, officially unreleased anthem that was being given out for free by NWA street teams, comprised of kids spreading out across the city to promote the group. Priority agreed to finance and distribute both Eazy-E's solo album and NWA's official debut.
Looking for a professional photographer for your next big event? Need video of your special day? Then look no further. For $100 an hour, have a professional photographer or videographer shoot your wedding, birthday party, quinceañera, bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, anniversary party, or whatever your special occasion may be. Highlight your event with professional, crisp photos and video. Check out Charles Arness Photography on Instagram, as well as book us for your next event. Must live in the Southern California area.
Under the imprint of Ruthless Records. It was the best of both worlds, major label clout with effective indie distribution, wrote Heller. They had marketing people. They had a full staff. They could get records in all the stores. It was almost like a West Coast version of Def Jam, said Warehouse Records' Violet Brown. Once Priority got their hands on it, it exploded.